Now, in Agile projects, the project manager is considered a servant leader. The value of project managers is not in their position, but in their ability to make everyone else better. In the Agile realm, PMs facilitate, they remove organizational impediments, they pave the way for others' contribution, they educate others about Agile, they support the team. And as you see, I highlighted this bullet in bright blue, boldface. They help the team through technical project management activities. They also overcome organizational silos and celebrate success. Dedicated team members are required to be dedicated with no multitasking. All right, team charters are still there, but they take on a slightly different flavor. In a project charter, we're talking about, in Agile, we're talking about project vision or answering the question, why are we doing the project? We talk about benefits, the ever-present benefits. It doesn't matter what approach we're using, project and business benefits are always of paramount importance. Release criteria, what does done mean? How do we know we're done? The intended flow of work, how will the team work together? The team charter is very important. I mean, it was always important, but here it becomes very, very important. So that is the take on project and team charters. In Agile, they have something they call a retrospective, and that's really a lessons learned meeting. Backlog is requirements. Backlog refinement, they talk about that. That's prioritization and reprioritization. Daily stand-ups are short daily meetings, and that's fair, and they really make a point, so I'm making the point. Be careful. Don't let these become full status meetings. The idea is you get in and out very quickly. You just talk about what you've done and what you're going to do, and if you need any help. Okay, demonstrations are talked about. I could say reviews. That's what these demonstrations are. Okay. Something they call an anti-pattern, digressing into the predictive ways of doing things. And you don't want to do that. Okay, velocity, you see that a lot. That's the number of features actually delivered during an iteration. How fast, boom. Scaling is the same as program and portfolio management. A story point is a feature or requirement. So we have this concept of the burn down chart. And I wanted to show it to you because you'll hear about the burn down chart. It's a way to report status. So the dotted line is our predicted delivery over days, okay? How many story points or features are outstanding? That's the way to think about it. And what the project team experienced was a deviation before getting almost back on track. A gap like this is actually a positive thing because it shows an opportunity for improvement. This is the feature chart. Now, what you have here is the number that you've completed, which you hope is going up, and you'd also hope that the number of features that are remaining is going down. Here we have an earned value management example, and we have our earned value, we have our planned value, we have our actual cost. That's awesome. In fact, CPI doesn't change. What's neat is you could just take your SPI, your scheduled performance index, and change it to completed features over planned features, and you're just fine. You can tell how you're doing according to schedule. Okay, procurement, they quote the Agile Manifesto as saying customer collaboration over contract negotiation. And I love that. But I also highlight you can't ever get away from contracts. In Agile, you emphasize a multi-tiered structure. That's when you come up with a master services agreement for the overall engagement. And then you have portions of it or multiple tiers related to the various types of approaches that you might adopt. And of course, your procurement approach and your contracts have to support that. This emphasizes value delivered. Paying for what's delivered is always better than just paying for an hourly, an hourly application of the resource. Well, this emphasizes the same thing. This is really good. Okay. And another emphasis is you pay for the increments delivered. Again, that ties in very nicely with the value point earlier. And one thing that stood out for me, and that's why I'm highlighting this, is many contracts include options for early cancellation. The reason that an Agile project, that you might want to have a contract with the early cancellation clause in there is because with the dynamic nature of the project, you just never know. You might finish early. You might not need that vendor as much as you thought. So this is an overview of Agile and Lean frameworks. And they have, if you ever want to know about Scrum, Extreme Programming or XP, Kanban, Crystal, Scrum Band, feature-driven development, dynamic systems development, the Agile unified process, the Scrum of Scrums, and this I added for scaling, the scaled Agile framework, large-scale Scrum or less, enterprise Scrum and disciplined Agile. And you can implement all these flavors, or devise a new flavor appropriate for your project. So as long as it supports the principles of the Agile Manifesto,